Hey guys, this is Ebony coming at you from the charming South, and I'm just sitting outside my building before I get ready to go into work. And it was just a few things I was reading on today that I wanted to share with everyone. Um, First thing is I was reading about this South Korean ship ferry that pretty much sunk in the ocean in that part of the world. And it's just mighty strange how all of these Asian and Korean transportations are going down and pretty much killing hundreds of passengers. But pretty much what I was reading was the fact that the something happened. They don't know if it was because of the too much cargo on the ferry, or if it was like a rock that kind of threw something in the engine off. I'm not sure, but pretty much the captain was well, the people who survived, it was like 170 something people that actually made it off. Altogether it was like 300 passengers on the plane. I'm sorry, not the plane. 300 passengers on the ship, and they were told to stay put, to not move or to get into the life not to grab any life jackets or get into the boats that that are usually on any type of boat that's going across water. They should have a stock of boats on stock, just in case anything happens, anything malfunctions. They always have like a safety route. Pretty sure everyone's seen Titanic, but the survivors said that they were ordered to not move. And that's odd to me, because anything that's going down, or if you have and these were students, by the way, which is really sad, because it was like 300 some students that was traveling on this ferry, and they were ordered to stay put. Now, some of the survivors, they were just thinking, should we actually stay put, or should we, try to get out? And that's exactly what they did. That's why, 100 and somethings, I think 179 of them actually survived. Now, the weird part to me is that they're saying that they're going to extend a search for 2 months to find the passengers. So I'm assuming they're looking for the bodies right now, because it's been almost half a week that this has happened. And I mean, it's it's sad to say, but I'm pretty sure they have perished when that ferry went down. The funny thing is, CNN doesn't want to say that the passengers are dead. They want to say, well, 230 of them are missing, but they found 30 of them. 30 are pronounced dead. And my whole point is, well, first of all, I just think something is up with the fact that, like I said, these, Asian and Korean, these vessels or planes on that side of the world are just mysteriously, crashing or sinking. And I just really don't understand that. And what I find odd is that they're saying that now, when I was reading today, that they actually want to charge the man, the captain. Well, they have to have a face for what has actually happened to them. But I can't say that it could have been avoided, but just the fact that these people were told to remain in their seats 30 to 40 minutes after, the ship was thundering, after water was, coming in to the cabins and into their seats, they were still told to remain seated. And that's just horrible, because they had lifeboats on the plane. I keep saying plane because I keep thinking about the Malaysian plane, which I will get to later, but they had lifeboats on the ship. And it's just sad that those people who actually were thinking that the captain knew what he was talking about, they were taking orders from the captain, and this happened to them. And they're going to try to find their bodies over the next 2 months. But with the currents and that ocean on that side of the world, I'm skeptical if they will find anything, or if they really will attempt to actually look to find anything, or if they will do something similar to what has happened to the flight 370 from Malaysia. That plane went down last month. Well, I'm not sure if it went down or not. This is what they said. This is what CNN, MSNBC, and pretty much the mainstream media says, that the plane went down in the ocean but they can't find anything from that plane. They can't find any evidence. But it's pretty evident. They actually know where this boat or this ferry went down. They know that it sunk in a particular part. They actually see the boat. They know that it sunk, and it's pretty much safe to say that the people, the passengers of that ferry, they are dead. But it's just sad that, this is happening to all of these people on this side of the world. Now, one thing that I find odd is the fact that it kind of has taken the focus off of the Malaysian plane. And I don't want to say that's coincidental, but it's kind of convenient that, something else will happen drastic like this, kill hundreds of people, and the focus is kind of still on the Malaysian 370 flight, but not really. They show you bits and pieces, but I actually can start to see them actually wrapping up the search for the flight 370. They're kind of calling it quit without saying, hey, we're calling it quits. And pretty much I feel like all this is media propaganda. We see more about, it's good to see what's going on in other parts of the world, but there are things going on in the United States that does not get any time from the media. The earthquake that happened in California a few weeks ago, the early part of April, did not get that much coverage, if it got any. I'm not sure if they just showed like a clip or two or what, but it clearly did not get as much coverage as it needed to get, seeing that this was something that happened on our own soil in America. And like I said, pretty much it's media propaganda. They are showing us these things and, giving us all these, different stories about what's going on with this stuff, but really not really presenting any real facts. That's one thing that kind of caught my eye. And if you turn on CNN or MSNBC or Fox, I'm pretty sure they're going to be talking about the South Korean ferry that went down in the ocean. So, thank God there were some survivors. Because, like 179 of them said, we're not listening to you all. We are about to get off this plane. So, that's the great part about it. Another thing I was reading was actually this documentary that's about to come out about the climate change and, just pretty much how, we're going to be living dangerously for the next century. And I pretty much don't believe in global warming, which that's what they was calling it like a few years ago when Al Gore came out with his documentary about, the dangers of the climate. I feel like everything that's happening now, if you read the Bible, it is already prophesized. There's going to be a eruption of the sun. Everything, we are getting closer to the sun as a planet. That's a scientific fact. And the closer we get to the sun, the more our planet has a drastic change, as far as the ice glaciers are melting, more ocean water rising, all these things, earthquakes, all these things are already prophesied in the Bible. So the fact that they want to have a documentary and put all these celebrities on it, I guess that, throw the celebrities in there and that'll make it a really good, really good series to watch and get a lot of ratings. But there's nothing we can do to prevent climate change. From what they are saying about climate change, they're saying that humans, we are the cause of the change. Pretty much everything we do, from smoking cigarettes to driving cars to the industries that have smoke going into the atmosphere, killing the ozone layer, which that has pretty much been killed for a few years. But they're saying that this is the reason of the climate change. And we can't deny that there is a climate change, but to say that humans are the reason of it, that's a little far-fetched, because people have been driving cars and doing these things for years. And I can understand if it's just now catching up, but if this is the case, if humans are the cause of climate change or the cause of global warming or global cooling, whichever one they decide to call it on, what day that they decide to call it on, how would there be a resolution to that? Technology is only getting more advanced. I don't see people putting up their cars to get on horses again. So what they have a global summit, for leaders to meet to talk about the climate change, but exactly what are they going to do, to fix the climate change. There's nothing we can do to fix the climate change. This is what has happened to the earth. It's going to keep on happening. It's going to get worse. That is a fact. There's nothing we can do to prevent climate change or to stop it. If that was the case, they would have done it years ago. But if I can remember, they were saying that was a conspiracy. Climate change or global warming, that wasn't true. Like, they was like, oh, all these global warming conspiracies and people who believe in global warming. Back then, I'll say around 2002, 2003, that was more of a theory. They pretty much wanted to pretend like that was not a fact. And now it's a fact. I mean, with everything that's going on, it's clearly a fact that the earth is changing. Now, my whole point is whether that has something to do with humans or whether we can control that is pretty far-fetched, because we don't have a hand in this world. We never did. We never will. This is all God's made. He made the planet, the stars, the universe. So everything that's happening right now, that is due to how we are living. If anything, personally, me, from a Christian standpoint, from what I believe, it's more of how we're living. It's more of the things that we're doing that's causing our planet to perish. Now, we partake in activities that contributes to that, such as driving cars and, everything else, but I don't think that that's going to be the reason why the volcanoes are going to erupt and the glaciers that has nothing to do with, anyone being around and driving a car or smoking. I don't see how that's going to stop those from melting. I'm just being honest. I don't see that. Now, I don't know. If I believe in science to a certain extent, but I believe that sometimes they try to have answers for things that they just cannot have an answer to. I mean, there's some things that God provides us knowledge for. He allows us to know certain things, but as far as the universe, as far as this earth, our minds cannot fathom that, and no amount of text that they can do is going to stop what's going on in our earth right now. And they from their tools and their technology, they predict that it's going to be in the next century or so that it's really going to, really hit the fan, so to say, with the change that we're happening. I wouldn't even give it a century. I would say in the next 5 years, because there are so many earthquakes going on right now. If you look at, I just go to Google sometimes and look up earthquakes, and some of these national reports or world reports that shows how many earthquakes are going on. People are getting 7.5. Mexico City, they just had like a 7.2 earthquake. I've never heard of Mexico having an earthquake. If they had, I'm pretty sure it wasn't 7.2, 7.5. That's pretty major. Do you see that on CNN? That's in North America. We don't read about that. We don't see that. And another thing that I was actually seeing, which I'm just gonna say this before I get ready to go and work, but a plane, a United States plane, spotted in Iran. But the government doesn't know how this plane got over there. And like I said, I'm just going to say this. This is going to be the last, thing that I'm going to throw out there at you. But everybody just put your thinking caps on real quick. Okay? Do you think an Iranian plane can enter our airspace without us knowing the cause for it or why it's doing that? Do you think that any government plane, another government plane outside the United States, can enter into the United States airspace without them knowing what it is there for? And this is just going back to the lies that I see on the news, and I just feel a real need to actually just expose all these lies, because people believe this stuff. People actually believe this crap. Now, if you read the news, you know that Israel and Iran and, a lot of other countries, they're not really the best friends. They're actually, really going at it really heavy right now. I would think, just me, that their airspace would be grid tight, meaning they know what's coming into their airspace and they know why it's coming into their airspace. You're not going to tell me that a United States plane went over to the Iran airspace. So are you saying that they jacked a plane was jacked by the Iranians? I'm not hearing that thrown around, but they want to say it's a mysterious reason as to why the plane is over there. No, it's not a mysterious reason. It's something sneaky going on. And I really want to find out. I'm going to continue to do my research, and I'm going to broadcast it to you. But I'm going to find out, because that just does not make sense. They're already trying to do this peace treaty over there. But the fact that they want to say, oh, it's a mysterious plane, United States plane, found at their airport. But you don't know why. But you want to tell us, but you don't want to give us all the details. And people, I just really encourage you all to just look up this information. Don't just take CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all these other mainstream media. Don't just take their word for it, because they lie. Okay? Like I said, they get their news from somebody else. It's already written, formatted. Hey, just read this. You're just supposed to look pretty on the screen, talk from this prompt, and let these people know what we want them to hear. That is what they are there for. Now, it's truth in every lie. It's truth in every lie. So, what they're giving you is part of the truth, but they don't give you the whole thing. They don't think that the American people can handle the whole truth. So, they give you parts of it. And that is, what I just said, the United States plane landed in the Iran airspace. They're at their airport right now. That is something that's a half of a truth. Because if it's the whole truth, then you would be able to tell us why it's there. You're not going to tell me that the United States do not know this, people. You're not going to tell me that the government, the people that can look at your phone and read all your text messages were caught spying on their allies. You're not going to tell me that they don't know what's going on with their own plane. It doesn't make any sense. And that's all I'm saying. It does not make any sense. And like I said, I encourage you all to read this